back in a little bit.
Okay, the mass shooting in Vaughan. We need to go back to this.
Follow up.
So York Regional Police investigating the possible motive, which is always an interesting thing for me in the age of social media, where you can sift through a bunch of stuff, but police have to be more thorough than that. Obviously, 5 people killed yesterday, including the gunman, so 6 total. Another person right now, serious injuries in hospital. The gunman, and this was all over social media quickly yesterday morning and last night, but it's been confirmed, 73-year-old Francesco Villi, who got access to a semi-automatic gun. Villi was involved in court action against the condo. City News exclusively reports that Villi lived in a 1-bedroom unit above the building's electrical room and complained of daily noise, odors, vibrations, and heat emanating from it. 3 victims reportedly part of the condo board. And this is still a very much, as Tam has been reporting all morning, an active investigation scene up in Vaughan. And this is now being told, we got a live shot coming up here, because this is one of the most disturbing aspects of what's gone on in and around the GTA this year, in my opinion. Dee, I really don't have a question. Take it wherever you want to take it, because I'm still absorbing this.
Here we are talking about Christmas and giveaways and all things that are merry and bright is what we should be focusing on. And instead, these poor souls and their families and their friends and anybody living in that area and the emergency and paramedics on the scene who witnessed what they're calling the horrendous events unfolding in front of them, they're mourning the loss of these people. And the document showed that he started complaining, Villi, in April of 2017. So here we are 5 years later, inspectors were brought in, his place was assessed, and apparently his complaints have gone ignored. Is that frustrating? Yes. But at what point does it go from that to the unimaginable, where these 3 of them were board members, condominium board members
reportedly.
Would never imagine that it would escalate to this extent, which brings up the question, it was a semi-automatic
handgun
that was
reportedly what was used, yes.
How did he even access that?
Look,
so that's the first question.
It's a valid question.
Mental health, I brought it up yesterday. I do often because if you know anybody, and we don't know if that's the case with him, but if you look at some of the videos, this is somebody who appears to be unstable. He sent a lot of video messages online that were shown over and over again. One had a sign that said murder in the background. There were these, as they say, you look for signs after, right? You look for signs after, because there's a lot of people who aren't well. They may say things, it doesn't mean they're going to do anything. And that's the thing. Where is the mental health system failing him at this point? Did he reach out? Was he getting help? We don't know. We need answers to all of this stuff. What makes somebody snap? I've seen firsthand, and there's people that I love that suffer from mental illness to different degrees. And you never know what's going to make somebody snap that
We
day.
all know people.
We all know people.
We all know people.
But he actually did it. And that's something, thank God, we don't deal with a lot of here. It is very rare to talk about a mass shooting in Canada, in Toronto, in Vaughan. But we have to treat every single one with the weight it deserves for these family members, because when it happens, it's devastating and it rocks all of us. And I don't even know what to say. What do you say to these families who are going through the unimaginable, who never believed that the scene would unfold, that this was the day, the moment that made him snap? But how did he access that weapon? Because prevention is key. If we're not there when is needed, the red flags, the friends, the family, the coworkers, whatever, to see this person unravel to the point where something may happen, alert the police, alert a mental health hospital. How do you access something like this where nobody stands a chance?
Look,
a semi-automatic.
To explain it away is impossible right now. One of my biggest points, though, is this. Because you're hearing, because maybe it's not a young black man who did this, because it's a 73-year-old white grandfather-looking individual, I'm sensing a different tone here. People go right to the mental health. Right to the mental health. And I really get scared about what's happening with mental health, because it's as important as it's ever been. But I think normalizing that line for any crime we see is really, really, really dangerous. Because I know a lot of people who struggle with mental health. So do you, and so does a lot of people probably around me, who don't kill 5 people. Okay? I want to make that very clear, and I've said this before on this show. There are millions of people in this country, upon millions, and around the world, who suffer in silence, privately, to the point where maybe they want to do something physical and violent, but maybe to themselves, who don't lash out like this. I believe some people are just evil, okay? And to blanket everyone with, well, mental health issues. They had mental health issues. We can't normalize that. We can't normalize that because it does a disservice to a lot of law-abiding people who struggle by themselves, who don't do this. And it bothers me. It really bothers me that immediately, because it's a 73-year-old white guy, oh, it's mental health. It's mental health. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And that's part of the story that, and not just with this story, it's built, this feeling with me. We are doing a disservice to people who struggle privately. And don't do this by just blanketing. And we got to stop that. I'm sorry. This man was evil. This man was evil. To do what he did is evil, okay? And those families now have to suffer. And I don't think in their private moments, the families of these victims are going, well, there was mental health issues. I guarantee you they're not doing that. So just keep that in mind as we go forward with this story, because there's still some things to figure out.
It's devastating.
But I've had a problem with that for a long time. And you know how serious we take mental health on this show? Very seriously.
Very seriously.
Let's not blanket it on everything we see. Because some people are just bad people, really bad people.